I'm often contacted by dog owners who've trained their dogs previously with other trainers or schools and not gotten the results they were hoping to achieve. In this particular video, we're going to take a look at that scenario with a young Labradoodle named Ospi. He's an 18-month-old Labradoodle, and his owners had sent him away for training previously, and much to their shock and horror, and mine as they recounted the story to me, the dog came home with visible signs of abuse. He's got a tremendous character, one of those indomitable spirits that you'd never know it upon meeting him if not for them relaying the story. But shockingly, aside from that, their exact quote to me of what the trainer said about the dog, their exact words to me was, "Your dog is like a dumb blonde in high heels." Aside from being sexist, aside from it being just completely out there, what it really screams to me is I couldn't or didn't do my job as a dog trainer, and the trainer is just pinning it on the dog because the dog can't put up his hand and say, no, he failed. So we did a consultation, and it was clear to see that Ospi is a very trainable dog, a very nice dog, and a very cooperative dog. And I always make the point of stressing to people, it doesn't matter if your dog is smart or not smart. Of course, if a dog has a higher degree of trainability up to a certain point, it's going to make our jobs easier. But if the dog doesn't catch on very quickly, we can still train the dog. It's not the end of the road. It's not a deal breaker. Cooperative, however, can be a real game changer. And Ospi showed that he was very cooperative. So in our consultation, I was pointing out certain things to them. And the other thing that was apparent to me is they're a young family, several young kids. How the dog got his name actually is the youngest one was trying to say the word oopsie and was pronouncing it Ospi. And so that's how the dog got his name, which is quite cute. So Ospi is a young, very trainable dog who just fell into the wrong hands with the trainer before me. And of course, in a consultation like that, it's a little tricky. You're kind of on thin ice with people because they've been burned before. So they're kind of standing back like this and, yeah, okay, I've heard all about you and I've read your reviews and you might have trained every dog in my neighborhood, but I don't know if I trust you yet. And I get it, because once you've been burned, that's a very normal stance to take. So I took my time explaining to them the qualities I saw in their dog and getting information from them in terms of what they were hoping to see post-training, and to explain to them what is achievable with their dog and then what work would be required on their part to maintain it. So I want to go back and revisit that claim that the dog is a dumb blonde in high heels. Or let's just say, let's move away from that now, and let's just say that the dog is claimed to be untrainable. According to who? I get a lot of these dogs all the time in for training. People have been through a trainer. Sometimes the list is extensive. Multiple trainers. Untrainable, dominant, stubborn, on and on and on. These things can and do exist, but by and large, it's a cop-out. And if you've got the right tools, and if the owner's expectations fall within the realm of reasonable, which in most cases they absolutely do, then we're going to be fine. And it's just a matter of knowing what roads to take to get us to the destination we want to get to with our dog. And he's locked into my leg. Good boy. And he's a happy guy. I mean, how could you not love him? Heel. So here you're seeing Ospi at work with me, and I'm in constant contact with his owners, sending them updates, telling them what a great dog they have, how he's doing in training, how we're progressing, how nicely he's doing with his exercises. And his big thing is he's a very happy-go-lucky, very excitable dog, and with 3 young kids, that can pose a lot of challenges. So we focused a lot on controllability when he's stimulated, because that's his day-to-day existence in the house with the family. So while I'm sending these updates to the owner, at some point I'm like, you know what? It might just sound, especially since they've been burned before, it might just sound like I'm telling them things that maybe if you're a bit of a salesperson type, you're telling someone what they want to hear. So I start videoing the dog, and that's how this video initially came about, where I'm videoing him, and now I'm sending them little clips. And the title of my first clip is, Ospi is not a dumb blonde. And they saw this and they were like, wow, this is great. Now we start planning for the transfer lesson. And this is where I really want to focus the video, because it's all well and good if the trainer can train the dog. At least we're further ahead than they were first time around. No excuses now the dog is trained, but now comes the job of teaching the owner how to maintain the training the dog has received. A lot of this, Victor, comes down to you knowing how to use your attention and your affection in a positive way to encourage the behaviors you want. Good boy. So you see, he's forced to make a choice. You see that?
I can see that he's biting, which is down.
Yes. It's like the cartoon where you have a devil on one shoulder and an angel on the other. Okay, so we've spent a lot of time doing this in training. And he knows when I'm in range, then he's gonna make contact, okay? Yeah, yes. Yes, you're a good dog. So you see, okay? Good boy. So your trainer that called him a dumb blonde in high heels, what they're telling you is they don't understand the dog. They don't have technique, they don't have depth, they don't have the knowledge of how the dog's mind works. So it's very easy to blame the dog, because the dog can't put up his hand and say, excuse me, he's not very good at communicating. Okay? That's the truth of what happened. And so if you communicate and you understand the technical aspect of it, it's very simple and very straightforward. And to take a dog for 3 weeks from his family, and then when you show up today, which he has no knowledge that you would be here today, and I bring him out and he sees you and his eyes explode, and then I say, oh yeah, it's fun that Victor's here, but you go be there. And the dog does it. That tells me everything about the dog, and also about the training that the dog received, that it worked. It makes sense to him, he understands it. So my dog is healing nicely. I have a very loose leash, right? He's following me. I'm not using the leash to keep him here with my strength. I want my dog's focus. It's like with place. He's there because I'm working with him in his mind, not because I'm creating a barrier or a box or a tight leash. On your leash, you feel like your leash is floating, right? Okay. And now you hold the leash however you wish. As long as there's no tension, we're okay. If you want to use 2 hands, that's fine. Okay, so he's right in line with your leg. Now try something with him. Try going fast. Try running a little bit. Okay, now go very slow. Very, very slow. So you see how he's following your lead? Okay, come back this way. Good. Stop. You see where your dog is? Okay, he's following you. When you stop, that tells a whole story to someone a trainer who knows what they're watching. He stopped dead in line with you. Most people, when they stop, they use the leash like a parking brake, right? To make the dog stop. Or some people make a very exaggerated stomp to give the dog a signal. If my dog's watching me simply stopping is enough, because he says, well, the person I'm following stopped, I'm stopping too. Their reaction time is very good. It's much quicker than ours. They can stop instantly, unless we're talking about a physically limited or disabled dog or a very goofy dog. We want the dog following. Heel is follow the leader. If you wanted to walk this dog from here to the Olympic Stadium, he'll heel with you the whole way. Distractions, everything. Kids, dogs, squirrels. This is an exercise that he's built to do, because heel it's teamwork. It's me and you together. It suits his nature. Or sometimes if I have this here, and then my lens is dirty because the nose goes right on the lens. A trained dog is going to look like what he looks like now when we're not giving him a command. So there's training where we give a command and the dog is doing something specific. We've asked him to do this, do that. So the dogs are barking at him, and if I move this way, the focus is here. I didn't ask him for anything. He's not technically working now, okay? The focus remains. That's a big sign of a trained dog, is he's ready for you. His focus is here. So it's like now, if our lesson is an hour or 3 hours, I'm not going to take out my phone and look at my Facebook, because I have to be here. I have to be present in the moment. I have a job to do. The trained dog, the more you work him, the more you demand of him, He's just ready for engagement. So the fact that he's lying down in the dirt over here, your freshly bathed dog lying in the dirt, okay, that's just a sign from the dog of, I'm with you.
Okay.
The untrained dog looks completely opposite. Those dogs are barking, he would be pulling to go see the dogs, right? Like, what would he have done before training when they were doing that? He would have just wanted to go, right? Or he'd be jumping on you or jumping on me, or maybe biting his leash or bouncing around because he's like, I'm bored, you guys are boring. It's like with the kids, when they want to go play and you say, wait, let me just finish my coffee. Kids think coffee was invented to torture them because we say, I have to finish this first. I remember when I was a kid, I hated the word coffee because it meant wait. So, you see, he's just waiting. So that means that the dog understands his role as you follow, I lead. Okay? Now, if I start to move away, and again, I'm not giving him commands, so I'm not actually telling him to do something. He's just showing his thought process, okay? If I start moving away, he's ready to go.
Oops.
Won't be the last time that happens to me today. So, he's just ready to go. I stop, he stops. I move, he moves. I change directions, he changes. He's just engaged. We have a game of follow the leader going on, okay? So it's not, right now, it's not because I didn't say okay. Okay. Does he put his front paws up?
Not even.
Not even?
Not even.
Okay. Now, in some cases, the dog might be very goofy and doesn't have the coordination.
Okay.
We're gonna see. Okay, let me take your leash. Okay, come on, Luce. So it's okay, I can let him jump in now?
Yeah.
Has he ever jumped in?
I don't think I think that he's always I have
being
to help
lifted.
him. Yeah.
So again,
And then he's still like that, and then he waits.
Yeah. So remember what I said, he wants contact. Okay. Come on. Yeah! Good boy! Good. Come on. Come on. Can I ask you to stand over here, Victor?
Sure.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I thought that you want me.
Yeah. No. It's 360. If you just hold it like this.
I thought that it was this way.
No, both.
Not the okay.
This way we never miss a thing. Because I'm not talented enough to be a trainer and focus on the camera. This way it captures everything. So I'm showing the dog, right? This is dog training at its root. Here's my version of the story. His version is, I don't really like driving, and I don't really want to go in. If you pick me up, at least I'm getting a hug out of the deal, and maybe I still have a chance to avoid. And I'm showing the dog there's no chance to avoid. I'm not being rough, but I'm being direct. I won't give you the opportunity to avoid, and I'm not going to give you that reward. Your dog was being rewarded for all the wrong things. He's being naughty, and then he gets your attention and energy. And then he gets you to chase him around the circle in front of your house. And then he grabs the kid's shoes for the 40th time. And so he's getting a lot of attention. And then the same thing here. I don't want to get in, but I can make him touch me again. Okay. Come on, Noose. So we got 2 already where he went in. Now that's 3 in a row, so it's starting. Okay? You just keep going like that. That's training at its core, is show the dog your version of the story, and don't give him the opportunity to then say, I'm going to try door number 2, door number 3, and we keep going until it just becomes habitual. Right?
Okay.
If we do things often enough, it becomes habit. And then if you could interview your dog and say, how come you're getting in now? I don't know, but it's just what I do. It's habit. It's habit. It's like when I walk in the house at the end of the day, first thing I do, I turn on my coffee machine. I don't even think about it. Boom. Then I'm washing my hands, and then there's a coffee. And we have our habits, so we create habits in our dogs. I'm going to give them to you. You try it with me, okay? Good boy. Now, the other nice thing you've done is by teaching him to go in, you help him get over a little bit of the fear. Because avoidance feeds fear. Okay, fear is like a cancer, and it feeds itself and it grows. So if the dog is afraid of the van, and you let him avoid a little bit, then he says, maybe that's how I stay safe. I stay out of this. No, you're going in. I know you're strong enough to go in the van. It's not such a bad thing. And I force the dog in. And after a while, the dog just goes in and it becomes more natural for him. Now he's able to move past it. Yesterday, somebody came here to bring their dog for grooming, and I was training with my clients over on the grass. And they were parked kind of where this pickup is. And when they got out, their dog really focused on the dog I was training. And it froze. Their dog froze. and you could see it was bothered by the other dog. Even though the other dog didn't even notice it, we're training with it. The lady tried to walk towards the groomer, and the dog said no, just like your dog didn't want to get in the van. She put the dog in the car, and she drove the dog from the parking spot to the groomer's door. That feeds the fear.
Yeah, absolutely.
If she would have got the dog, even if it meant pulling the dog a little bit, to walk past, then the dog would realize nothing bad happened to me. We're not going to come over and bother the dog. And the dog would have come out of that situation stronger. When I'm training, I'm always trying to make my dog stronger. When your dog shows me a fear of the van, okay, you're allowed to be afraid. I'm going to show you you're stronger than you believe you are. That's the little guy Murphy that I had out with us, he's afraid of everything. So if the owners were walking him and he heard a truck, he would want to run home. I walk him up and down Harwood over here with tons of traffic. I put a video on my Facebook of him doing that. I'm standing there with the dog, cars going by, trucks going by, 70, 80 kilometers an hour. He's just calm now. Because I didn't allow him to pull me back to the kennel to go hide. Right? So the same thing here, we don't let him avoid. It's, we're going to do this.